Hi, thank you for taking the time to look at this. I just wanted to share a little bit of information on why I wanted to apply for this Leadership of Teaching, Learning, and GATE position here at AOSR. So a little bit about myself. I have been the pre-K through 12 STEAM coordinator at my last position for 2 years, in which I organized various PDs throughout the school, ran a transdisciplinary project throughout all of secondary with all teachers and grade levels and content areas, and also implemented NGSS curriculum with work with the curriculum coordinator in adding new NGSS literacy and aligning that with different subject areas as well. I have been teaching in secondary science for 13 years. I have had 4 years experience teaching now in primary through co-teaching, running my own STEAM classes, running my own makerspace, and also teaching summer school and after school activities for primary. I also have been an instructor supervisor through what is now Moreland University, where it is a university where teachers are getting their teacher certification through Hawaii, DC, or Arizona. I have mentored candidates as well in that program, but mostly I am the clinical instructor where I look at their teaching videos and give them feedback throughout their student teaching process. So I was really intrigued in looking at this position and really thinking about it and looking at how a position like this could be valued. So I was mentioning that I was interested in getting some feedback that, this is a position that obviously whoever is going to do it, it does incredible amounts of work, and it might not always be looked at as something that teachers thank you for. And that kind of just rang in my head and made me think, well, why would this be something that teachers wouldn't want to have available to them all the time? Why wouldn't this role be something that teachers wouldn't want to be part of or be using, right? So, for example, at my last school as a STEAM coordinator, I got 1 to 5 to 10 emails a day from teachers saying, hey, can you co-plan this with me? Can you co-teach this with me? Can you design a PD around this? Can I bring the kids to your room? Can I bring the kids to the STEAM studio? Can you order me supplies? Can you help implement, whatever the project was? And I felt that teachers were very thankful that I was there to help guide them and just help support them in something that they were passionate about. So looking at how the curriculum's been rolled out this year, this is only my first year, but just some ideas and things that have been floating around is, this idea of, well, get your curriculum maps done because you need to design curriculum for the teachers after you. And that's not really, something that a teacher wants to hear. So how can we change that, that feeling of this position not being, thanked for what they do and appreciated, and also looking at this curriculum process as not just something to be doing for the teacher after you, but trying to allow teachers to create something that they are passionate about. So feeling grateful to have a curriculum coordinator to support my goals, designing curriculum that can help me grow at AOSR, or if, there is a high turnover and teachers do end up leaving after that first 2 years, then how can they grow as a teacher here at AOSR and then bring that with them and leave behind, of course, their curriculum with us as well. Design curriculum that supports my teaching style, and I love this part, allowing me to do things that I never thought I could do, but I always wanted to try. So here we are, we're in a new country, we're doing new things, and we just don't have time. So how can this role really help support teachers that don't have time? And of course, collaborating with teachers that we admire, that's one of the best things to do. So when looking at this position, it was laid out in a few different ways, and the curriculum leadership part I'm very comfortable with. Like I said, I'm really passionate about helping other teachers and helping them be able to plan their curriculum in a way that they're passionate about. And it's almost like we're taking this understanding by design and we're teaching teachers how to teach it, or we're facilitating how to teach it, or being a coach or a mentor and how to do it. But it's almost like the teachers need to be doing this as well. So I'm a huge advocate for student-centered learning, and I feel the same way about leading a curriculum position or a teacher leadership position, because the teachers are really what should be driving this position. What do they want? What do they want to see? How can the curriculum coordinator help them reach their goals? How can it help them allow their students to reach their goals? So how can we teach students to do this? By looking at how teachers have done it. Assessment leadership is really interesting, looking at students assessing themselves and teachers assessing themselves. So when we look at how we're assessing our students, well, how are the students assessing themselves? How do they know if they've met the standard? How do they know if they've met the goals? Have they made a goal? And have they met it? So really looking at, again, this student-centered assessment, teacher-centered assessments, and not coming down the pipeline of telling students or teachers what they have to do, but having them set their own goals and then seeing if they met them. Instructional leadership, helping, again, being that coach, that leader, and allowing teachers to have time to really excel in these areas that they want to do better. I put this last quote in here. How do teachers have time and drive to do better when they are focusing on surviving, right? So having these multiple preps, these 4 or 5 preps, and different grade levels, different content areas, and then, wanting to be the best of the best. It's kind of hard. So could this instructional leadership position really provide that support to align teachers' goals with what they're actually putting out? Professional leadership and development is obviously really important. So really taking in what teachers want, again, looking at how we can create all teachers being this part of this position, in terms of maybe a teacher is really good at something and creating these PLCs for them to showcase that. And we did a little bit about that this year, just finding time to showcase that and have that grow. This was probably the most interesting part of the whole write-up to me, along with the coaching and helping teachers. But this part really focused on the students, and I have 2 students in mind where I really felt like I could have used this curriculum position, this leadership position, to benefit these students this year. I was like the first month or 2 of school, I was completely swamped through going back and forth, through, online, in, out. And there were just these 2 students that were excelling at everything I would hand them, everything. The way when they came into the 9th grade curriculum, they had been in a previous school. One was in Indonesia, and she had done everything. And, I was just trying to wrap my head around, what am I going to give her? What am I going to give her? And of course I did, the standard. You teach the material. Go help that group. Oh, here's some extra things. But that's not what she deserved. She deserved this real, rigorous, okay, the content. Now let's relate it to an experiment that was done, some college student that could work with you, or something where you could Skype a scientist and they could work with you, or how could you relate this to a real world project, or inspire the students in this class to do something based on this. So really looking at this GATE experience to be not just like hand-picking these high-level achieving students, but looking at who they are, looking at their interests, getting them in real-world-based scenarios, whether it's with colleges, again, or professionals in the field, and and letting them explore their passions. And then the best part is like bringing that back into the classroom so that other students can say, oh, I'm passionate too. And I might not have, the A+++++ grades or 100%, but I'm really passionate about this and I want to drive this idea that I have, and opening it up to not only students that are, excelling with grades, but also excelling with passion as well. So I'm just, whoever gets this position, I would love to help with that. It's such a cool role. Honest limitations, my lack of work with the social studies and English curriculum at a higher level. I've worked pretty much with pre-K through 5 science, but we integrated English, ELL, social studies, math into all of it. To some extent, I'm comfortable with Common Core in primary and secondary science, of course, is my go-to. I was researching a little bit about that MSA accreditation. I was going through the standards. I absolutely loved one of the standards I talked about, real world implementation of curriculum, which I really would love to drive this, this gate, and also this teaching and coaching, like with this database or this website that has all of these different options for teachers to find real world projects and people in this community that would be part of this, whether it's field trips or workshops or grants or something. So, looking at that MSA, those standards, and I think I could definitely do that since I've done the STEAM certification through the Cognia accreditation as well. So I'm familiar with that process. IB and AP trained. Some of my successes came from this school this year. Experience in all subject areas. Some, lacking probably in the English and social studies for higher up, and some of the math maybe. Comfortable and excels in school-wide PD. I love giving PD. I love talking in front of people. I get nervous for like a second, but then I have a blast. I really take pride in listening to teachers' needs, building positive relationships, trying to always ask around and see who needs what. Teacher and student-centered goals would be one of my top priorities. Teacher retention and happiness goals, and if teachers are leaving, why, and how can I help recruit new teachers. So thank you for taking the last 13 minutes to listen to some of my ideas, and I hope we can talk soon about them some more.